Onyx is one of those strange device manufacturers, and a rare one at that. They are the only company to occupy virtually every screen size from 6 inches all the way up to 25. They have note takers galore, color devices, 2 monitors, and the fastest, highest spec e-paper device of all time. What else do they need? Well, I guess they have an answer for a question no one necessarily asked. The Onyx Boox Leaf. It's a 7-inch device without color and without a note-taking layer. Falling in between the Poke 3 and the Nova 3, the Leaf brings a screen size that is not seen very common in the industry. It's beautifully designed, looks like a mini Air 2, the back looks like a Note 5, and the 3 pins on the side look like they're from the Nova Air. It seems to be an amalgamation of a lot of their current lineup. So let's see what it can do. As we said in the intro, this feels very much like a mashup between basically everything in Onyx's lineup thus far. The way the speakers are placed, the pins on the side, the ledger on the left, holding it in your hands doesn't feel like a mistake at all. This is very much planned. This was built from the ground up, and this doesn't share the same shell as anything else in their lineup. The backing is different, and the size is different. They're obviously using a 7-inch panel, which means the entire device had to be built from the ground up, so they're not recycling their old shells. Because this isn't a large screen note taker, we don't have the typical left style ledger lineup of icons. We have everything at the bottom: library, store, storage, apps, and settings. Library, where all your books are going to be when you start downloading them. Store is going to be the bookstore. Now, to be completely honest, the Onyx Boox bookstore is not that great. All you get is a lot of Shakespeare stuff, public domain stuff, Project Gutenberg stuff. It's nice that they're there, Alice in Wonderland, etc., but you're not going to find any New York Times bestsellers on here. Storage is where all of your storage is going to be. You can see out of the 32 gigabytes, we have 1 PDF and 1 book loaded on here, and we only get 22 gigs. So because this is actually running a very late version of Android 10, and the fact that it has audio and it is Android inherently with all these drivers and everything, unfortunately it puts a big strain on the storage, and it takes away 10 gigabytes of storage. You do have apps as well. So apps is going to be your go-to because this is where you're going to download all your apps. And they do have an app store, although we don't entirely recommend it because there's only about 46 apps on here. So you definitely are going to want to use Google Play Framework and the Google Play Store itself when it comes to downloading your apps, because there's millions on there. Your settings is very similar to everything else. You can go ahead and click on here to do factory resets, about device. You have more settings, firmware update, applications, etc. You can simply click here, enable Google Play, and away you go. You just have to wait for the verification process to kick in. It should kick in very quickly, and then your device is Google Play certified. You do still have the floating ball, which has become somewhat of a staple of Onyx devices. It is really nice. If you put it at the bottom and you go like this, it's going to rainbow over. If you put it on the side, it'll do the same. So nothing's ever going to get cut off, and it's actually very well optimized for this unit. You can turn it off by going over to the navigation ball here and toggling it off, but it does have some nice features. The top drop down, you can either tap or you can swipe it down. It has all of your Android-y type things: back, home, multi-screen, full screen refresh, and you have display control as well, which is system-wide. So you can do the contrast and the light color filter if you want to change all that stuff. You also have modes, and we'll show you that in a little bit. You have all the way down to X mode, which is again a staple of Onyx devices. I can't actually imagine most tablets with e-paper screens like Onyx, or ebook readers as this is trying to be, without an X mode, especially because this has the ability to watch videos and audio. As you see right here, twin speakers at the bottom, and it is live audio, so all the beeps and boops will be there. Before we continue, something that sets this device aside from a lot of devices is the fact that they have a case, but not just any case. This is a case with physical page turn buttons. Everything is built exactly for this unit. No, the Nova Air won't fit on here, and the Leaf won't fit on the Nova Air, etc. You'll notice because of the size of the unit, they're different sizes, but also the color here will always match the color of the device you're using. So because this has 3 pins on the side, all you do is snap it in like that, and you now have a device that has physical page turn buttons, which really changes the game on this unit's personality, because the reason they've done this is that they're not powered cases or anything like an Oasis or a Sage power cover. Why they did this is because you get all of the simplistic look as it stands, but you have the ability to utilize the copper contact pins and change the experience of the unit. With the case in there or not, you have the ability to swipe or tap to change pages. Now that you have the physical page turn buttons, you can turn them back and forward like so. Also, the page turn button rail here doesn't require any calibration. All you do is snap it in and you can use it instantly. So it doesn't need to be powered, it doesn't really draw any power, and it works very well. You can also close it like that, and it sleeps everything so that when you open it up, it'll sleep and wake up accordingly. And the back is a nice kind of camel desert orange, and you have the canvasy rubber on the front with a Boox logo. The reading experience is really solid, and that's a good thing because, well, this is an e-book reader. This isn't a tablet, although it does have a lot of tablet-y type feeling to it. They are marketing this as an e-reader instead of a note-taking slate. You do have a lot of long press options, everything we've all seen before, and you can see multiple reviews on our YouTube channel, especially on the video cards above and the end roll as well. You can do notes. Obviously you can't do notes with a pen because this is one of the few devices from Onyx that does not have a note-taking layer. You have to rely on the keyboard, and to be completely honest, this is one of the worst typing experiences out of the line of Onyxes. Not in general, but just that we felt. It does skip a lot of letters, you can see there, and it's honestly not that responsive. You do have to really take your time with it, or go to one of the various modes to speed that up.
The children's faces, hushed and clustered round to hear what they so little understood, were brighter, and it was a happier house for this man's death. The only emotion that the ghost could show him, caused by the event, was one of pleasure. Let me see some tenderness connected with a death.
Is this PDF experience going to change all of your life's problems? Unfortunately not. This is borderline, and I'm talking borderline acceptable screen size for PDFs. Now, I would not recommend this if you're using it for your education or your bread and butter. If this is your job and you're trying to read medical charts and stuff, look somewhere else because it is small. We barely recommend 7.8s when it comes to screen sizes when it comes to PDFs. So, unfortunately, this just misses the mark. Although, this is fine if you're a casual reader and all you want to do is pinch and zoom on your magazines and stuff like that. It's very quick. It also has a mini map that shows up on the top right corner. It's a very good experience even in normal mode, so we wouldn't recommend it again if you're using this for anything serious, but it's quite nice, and you do have that rail for the physical page turn buttons if you want. Even on side-loaded PDFs and manga, it works perfectly fine. May not be great for PDFs, but manga just so happens to be a very good screen size, around the 7-inch screen size. Manga itself in Japan is about 6.8 to 7.8, so this fits right in tow with that. So it is quite a decent experience, even on normal mode, which we would recommend because you don't have to change the screen all that much, and the quality of the actual imagery is more important when it comes to manga. Onyx has always given you the freedom to do whatever you want with your device, so it'd be very nice if you could auto-rotate, which you can, in all directions as well. If you want the ledger on the right with your physical page turn buttons there, if you want it on the bottom, if you want to just take it off of this altogether, prop it up somewhere and just read your books in landscape or your PDFs, you can do so. It is a very nice experience, especially that the whole menu changes alongside with you. No, we can't say that the Onyx Boox Leaf was necessary. Not one bit, actually. But we're glad it's here. A lot of major manufacturers are branching out from the 6-inch screen size when it comes to dedicated ebook readers. So it's nice to see Onyx is doing the same. For GoodyReader.com, this is Peter.